And we are streaming, and I have decided to give up on the chat box at the moment. So, yeah, I'll go into the explanation in a moment. The reason I was slightly delayed is because I started the poll and then realised that the poll was showing up and covering the browser source, which I was using as a backup because the chat box has not been working for the last 2 streams. And when I tried testing it a little earlier, it wasn't updating. I have logged out, I have logged back in, I have done a complete reset of OBS in many ways. Still not working, a little annoying, just means the chat's not going to be there at this point. Anyway, yes, Mr. Tatterdrags, you may not know this game. This is Terra Invicta, which is still in development. This is version 0.35. And yeah. Oh boy, this is going to be a very slow game. This is basically a grand strategy game in the sort of vein of, I guess, CK, all of the Paradox games, really. They're a little British Stellaris. We are basically taking over factions in current day, Earth. I think September 22 is when it starts, if I remember rightly, so a couple of months ago. And effectively, what's happened is an alien spacecraft has crashed into the Earth. And from this, 7 organizations have decided on how we should proceed with this. So let's just go and set this up. We're going to go to a medium system to try something. Hello, Leon. So the 7 factions in total have very reasonable expectations for what direction the peoples of the Earth should take. The Resistance has to protect humanity by resisting the alien invasion. We don't necessarily need to, wipe out all of the aliens. That's not necessarily the game plan, although it is kind of there and thereabouts in the same wheelhouse. Ultimately, this is kind of XCOM in that we are trying to survive. We're trying to protect humanity as much as possible from what the aliens are doing. That is sort of the main focus. You didn't go to humanity first. They're a little less subtle, but equally in line with how we've previously run XCOM campaigns. Humanity first, destroy all aliens. Suffer not, the unclean to live. Or whatever we want to say about that. If you want to go into 40k shenanigans, yes, that's exactly what we're doing. Rise of the Imperium, death to all aliens. We then have the initiative, which is, one of the slightly more questionable things here. Alien ship has crash landed into Earth. How can we make a profit out of this? And basically, they're going to just use the alien invasion to secure power for themselves, secure money, secure profits. All that good stuff. All that good stuff. We then have, we'll go on to the Academy next. It also warns you that this one's difficult. We have to convince the aliens that we are equal to them in terms of technological ability and standing within the universe. I mean, they've traversed the stars to get to here, somehow, and we've got to convince them that somehow we are just as worthy. I mean, it's an admirable goal, it's a little foolish, but hey, that's why that one's difficult. You then have, I'll go to that one last because I love that one. We then have the Servants. They have been they are basically the cultists. They have seen the aliens and they've gone, right, our overlords have arrived. All hail, all hail, all hail. I think, honestly, if you know the 40k lore, Gene Stealer cult seems to be the suggestion for how they should run and act. So, sounds fun. But obviously, as they're supporting the aliens, this is a lot easier. We then have the Protectorate. They want to basically be subservient to the aliens. Not necessarily worshipping them, but trying to, I should get a hooded road I'm in. I mean, it isn't the cult of Steve, it's the cult of whatever we're calling the aliens at this point. Then there's the Protectorate, which is basically, yes, Master, we will serve you, Master. Yes, Master, please don't harm us, Master. We're sorry, Master, please. So without necessarily the worship side of things, kind of doing what the Servants are doing. Only they're probably not actually, killing people to go and get more worship of the aliens. Then finally, and given that this faction has formed at just the point where the alien ship has crash landed into the Earth, this is very important. The moment that happened, Project Exodus decided, you know what? We're out of here. We can't fight them. We can't stop them. Let's go somewhere else. Never mind the fact that we're in modern technology and we don't have the ability to do this. The plan is, aliens are coming here, we are leaving. Which, in many ways, is the most reasonable of these responses, and at the same time, the most silly. I have played Project Exodus in my longest run-through of this game, and I kind of love it. But that being said, this is why we put the chat up, and you seem to want me to either welcome the alien overlords or be the humanity first resistance cells at this point. So I'll give it a couple of moments, see if we can actually decide on that. Oh, by the way, we're playing on cinematic. Largely because I'm still learning this game, I have not even gotten as far as Mars. I think I've started setting up colonies on Mars on my furthest run through with this. Well, I say colonies, mining facilities on Mars. Really, that's nowhere in this game. This game is an extremely slow burn. But we'll see. So, what are we feeling? Do we want to fight, or do we want to simper? We could run the Protectorate. It's a bit weird. I mean, I don't really want to run the Servants if I'm already playing on easy, but we could potentially do the Protectorate and just try and justify our position of, yeah, yes, Master Aliens. Or we could try and fight them. Definitely not trying to prove they're equal. We know we're better than them. They can't prove that. So Resistance is the one with the tutorial and is sort of the default faction. So I think if we were going to do this, we'd go Humanity first and just start the killing as fast as we can, in truth. Well, I've gone through all the factions. We'll see how it goes. Again, I'm probably going to default to Humanity first unless somebody wants to make the decision for me. Humanity first, or the Resistance has now got the extra vote, so we're going to go Humanity first. I'm going to close the poll. Because now I can I'm going to see if I can put the chat up, and that should hopefully allow it to just be there for the rest of this, because the chat box is still not working. There we go. Alright, it's not the best, because it's the old formatting for this, but at the moment, the chat box doesn't work. If it suddenly turns on, that'll be amazing. But hey, where's it at? So Humanity first, we're playing on cinematic. We're not going to play this on any kind of hard difficulty setting because we're still very much learning the game, and you know what? It's fine. It's fine. Okay, so let's begin. I mean, Master of Orion 3 is just slow and terrible and micromanagey. This is just a very long game. It's also kind of making me think I need to upgrade my PC at some point, but that's a side note. Oh, that's science strat. I mean, potentially. As I say, sorry, I'm just reading through the chat because I've missed a couple of things in doing bits and pieces. I kind of like the Exodus faction just on that basis. It's kind of the gimmick of we'll do the Bravely Bolts of Robin thing. But yeah, it does load okay and it does play okay. I'm just obviously, it takes a while to do this. Oop. Okay. Well, that's a start. Let's try that again. That's the first time it's done that at any point during the playthrough of this, I'm going to be honest, so, okay. Friend computer to save humanity. There is no Cult of Steve friend computer line as far as I'm aware. I mean, there is full customization, but I don't think you can customize what the factions want to do at this point. So yeah, humanity first. We'll play it on cinematic, and we will go medium system, 8 factions, start. And we'll try this again. If this doesn't load this second time, we might have to do something else, but we'll see. I say it's still very early access, and they're rebalancing a few bits and pieces as I've already, as I understand it. But honestly, it works really, really well up until the point I got to, which is still, I'm still very much in the early game. I mean, the point in the game I got to, I'm now just starting to think about actually getting technology so I could actually fight back. But, you know, I mean, I'm running the escape faction, so... yes, there are 7 other factions, each as well, 6 other factions on Earth, plus the alien faction, all with different views on how this should be handled, and we will have to fight them for resources, we will have to fight them for nations backing. There are things that we have to do as we go on. Also, we can't really piss off a lot of them too much, otherwise they'll start coming after us. Especially as, given that we are kind of on humanity first side of things, in theory, we are with the Resistance in many ways, just not in overall final solutions. We could probably be on the Academy side, because ultimately, you know, that's going to be important. The Initiative are just trying to profit from things, so they're probably on the lesser scale of things. We are definitely against the Protectorate, because they just want to simper and beg for survival. And we are definitely against the Servants, who are actively working for the aliens. Or at least, they want to be working for the aliens. They're the cult of the aliens, I suppose.
You remember the day the stars answered. The day we learned we were not alone. As a familiar sun rose on an unfamiliar universe, some of us saw wondrous possibility, and others, existential danger. The astronomers had insisted that the bright streak in the sky was no natural phenomenon. Most of us didn't really believe them until it burned through our atmosphere and crashed in a remote region, leaving only wreckage and uncertainty. In our ignorance, we fractured, taking refuge in our most primal emotions. Each of us saw what we wanted to see. Every war is won well before it is fought. Leaders must be prepared, their plans in place, and their weapons ready. The sheepdog cannot be trained when the wolves already hunt the flock. Our enemy is surely stronger. Their plans are noble, but this is our home. It can be our fortress or our tomb. There is only victory or death.
So the slightly different intro for each faction, obviously, but here we go. Right, so the UFO has crashed down on Earth, and immediately Project Exodus goes, we need to get out of here! This is not a safe planet to be on anymore. Never mind where they could come from.
Colonel. The Council has appointed you leader of our organization. I am Hans Castillo, your Adjutant General. The alien arrival represents the greatest danger to humanity in the history of our species. As such, we have formed a small group of military, intelligence, and science personnel committed to protecting our planet. We must build up our numbers and influence, investigate the aliens and their activities, and defend ourselves from extraterrestrial threat by any means necessary.
Okay, so no surrender, no mercy, absolutely. So there's a new objective, which is to investigate the alien crash in Brazil. We will say continue. So this game is a weirdly turn-based strategy game at the moment. Basically, there are phases which take a week or 2 weeks later into the game, where basically your council will do things. Certain events will happen in real time, and I can respond to them. But in general, our councillors have sort of weekly goals that they will attempt to achieve to try and benefit us. As you can see, the geopolitical situation is exactly where it is, up until and including a certain war in Ukraine, which is going on. But other than that, I think the society is mostly at peace, and there are various options and various places that we can start. In general, from what I've found, there are 2 strategies that kind of work. There probably are others, but again, 2 strategies that I have managed to be successful and get, which we'll have to debate between. The first is the grab the US and abandon everything else strat. So we try to take over control of the United States of America. They have the highest individual science score currently, of there. They have some boost, which is basically NASA and rocketry. Not the best boost in everywhere. There is a place where we have to go for that. They have some mission control points, which is basically all the space agencies and things. They have a good economy, and while there are some problems, it's not unfixable. The problem is, it takes a lot to control the US. We have a certain number of control points, and each of the 6 nodes, which is basically how much each branch of the government basically costs us 27. So as you can see there, we don't have enough points even at the start of the game to actually take control of it. We will fix that as we go. But in any case, in order to control America much easier, it's easier if you control its neighbors, Canada and Mexico. I think Cuba technically would work, so I think Cuba and US are enemies, so, you know, that probably isn't going to be massively helpful. The second strategy, which I kind of tried in my last run through of this, with the escape faction, was to take over France and then start basically making a unified European nation, which, to be fair, gives us a lot. What it doesn't give us, which the America has as an advantage, America already has 6 armies and 28 nukes. We don't want anybody else to have 28 nukes. We also don't really want somebody to have 30 nukes, which is what Russia have. But that is just an aside thing that we're going to have to deal with as we go. From what I've been told, China's quite good if you can get it, because they can build up to a good... they can build up to a better position than the US. But apparently it's really difficult to take over. Anyway, that's sort of early game plans. We need to get our footing in our nations. We need to investigate. We need to do research. There is a lot to explain, and I'm going to do that now, and we'll get over the rest of this. The research trees. So, importantly, and a bit weirdly, the top 3 are global research. So every faction in the game will get these researches when they are done. So obviously the We Are Not Alone, the Skywatch, and the Mission to Space, all, once somebody gets that, we all get that. At the bottom are the council projects. These are things that we are working on, and in order to access some of the engineering products, we need certain technologies to be researched. If you complete one of the global researches and you are responsible for the most points, you get to choose the direction of that node. So if we provide the most research, we can direct where the research where we want it to go, to be for our benefit. The audience research is pretty much, just increasing our stuff and things here. This gives us a few bonuses to influence, which is one of the currencies in the game. At the moment, I think we're fine with it as is there, but we probably aren't going to actually put any points into it. We're going to actually go for... We'll split some research off here. It's in our interest to get these done, so we'll get the research started off there and then. There are a couple of space stations. There's the International Space Station, which is currently owned by the Academy. I think there's another one as well, which is owned by Exodus, if I remember rightly. Stations. Yes, so the Academy have one, and Project Exodus have the other one, which give them a certain amount of things, but it costs them resource points to hold. So, let's then go over the councillors. So, we have Jesper Sherman, who is a scientist. So, high science score, high administration score. Administration means they can hold corporations, or more of them, and also assist with running a nation, which is quite nice. There's a persuasion score of 4, investigation score of 4. Espionage is basically doing sneaky things. We will need somebody good at that. Command is, I think, the stat that determines their ability in combat, and obviously loyalty. The fact is we already know your loyalty, which is quite interesting. You must have stats that, transparent. So we know exactly how loyal this person is, which is nice. Yeah, and then we have an evangelist who's basically there to just persuade people that the aliens are evil. So that's what he will basically be doing. He doesn't have any investigative score. He does have some command and administration, and there's a few missions he can do, crack down national campaigns, etc. Different people can do different things, and we will need different skill sets as we go on. What we will need to do is hire a new agent as soon as possible. And honestly, that might be a good commando pick here. Trust no one. Well, we know exactly how much to trust that one person. So we have 50 influence at the start of the game, and we will build up 46 a month. And we will need to get 4 agents as soon as possible, because that just allows us to do more in the early game. A commando would actually be quite useful for us here. So obviously we lose out on the persuasion score, but espionage is helpful. Allows them to do covert ops, find other agents, and potentially convert them to our cause. Which isn't admittedly a high score there. Command is obviously combat operations. We are effectively a combat organization. We need somebody who can fight aliens if they need to. You can also increase and stabilize nations, which is quite nice. Sabotage facilities. Go and detain assassinate there. Can't investigate, unfortunately. But I think it might actually be useful. Yeah, we're gonna hire a commando. So, Michael Moore, welcome aboard. Trust no one. Aliens! Indeed. There are aliens. One of them has crash landed. So, let's go and give them some jobs. So, let's see. Can you...
Ready for my mission.
I know we did check, but you can't do that. You can inspire, which is quite
Ready
nice.
to go.
Alright. So this is our investigative person. We'll have you investigate the crash
Headed
site
there
and
now.
find out some information.
What's
So that's
the
what he will do for this month.
Where to?
Michael Moore then. So, what strat are we going for?
At your service.
I think we're going to take control of the US, largely because I think there's a bigger initial payoff for doing so, and we are the military organization. We should have the place that already has 6 armies set up. So we're going to attempt to control Canada to start with. So let's do a few things. Are the aliens friends? Possibly. We could reverse Brexit. Actually, that is a thing. How good is England? So 100 science isn't too bad. 4 nodes, so 25 a node. The problem is, take US and blow up Russia. We could potentially do that. I'm not sure it would necessarily help our goal, but we could do that. They're also very in with the academy, but I think overall, I think going Canada's not the worst thing we can do right this second. So we're going to attempt to do this. Do you have the ability to...
Ready for orders.
Yeah, this is what I was trying to find out. So we could increase the unrest in Canada and then make Canada slightly easier to take over, which I think is what we will do. We can always restabilize it later. We don't have a very high ops score, though. And the nation's quite cohesive. Alright, let's surveil
Eyes
Canada.
up.
And we're going to have a go at taking control of a node in Canada before we do anything else. So we're going to go for a low percentage chance because I really need to save influence in order to actually gain another councillor. And when we go to next turn, we'll be able to start doing additional persuasion runs. It might even be in our interest to not take over now and try and persuade instead. So do a public campaign, bring the people onto our side a bit more. Yeah, we'll do that first.
We'll make our appeal.
We're gonna do a slow process of trying to take over the US by taking over Canada first, and then possibly abandoning Canada. So we set ourselves up here. We have our technology researched. We have everything sorted out there. So let's go and confirm assignments, and let's move time on at a slightly higher pace.
Initiating surveillance.
So as the turn goes on, various actions will take place. So obviously surveilling Canada, see if there's anything interesting there. And now we determine how our management team should be set up. We are going to need lobbyists and influencers because we want the additional councillor, but also we're going to have to spend influence to get ourselves into the US. So let's go that way. Make Greenland great again.
Opinion is moving in our direction.
So, yeah, he's improved it. So our support has changed from nothing to 2% in Canada. Perfect. It will make our attempts to control Canada easier. So we will have to do this in
We
phases.
found something.
And we have a small bonus to genealogy research from investigating the alien crash site. We've achieved our objective, getting 20 more influence and 20 actual science. We can now research the alien signatures, which we should be doing. Which is actually a better use of our time than that, except that it isn't currently available. There we go. Now it's available. So yeah, once you've researched something, eventually it will turn up as a project. And since we need to know how to detect alien activity because we need to kill the aliens, so you know, that's how it will go. So as you can see here, various factions are putting more resources into it. They might have more science than us to be able to do that. They might be focusing more on it. But hey, so currently this is how we're dividing things up. We still want these researches to be done, but if we're not the one who gets the most, that's what happens. Okay, let's try to set aside our differences and go forward together. So, all nations gain 1 cohesion. Okay. We then go into the second... Well, effectively the second turn. It appears we have some supporters in Lois, but we're not going to be interested in that. We want to take over a nation that actually could do something. That's the theory anyway. So now we can reassign.
Standing by for orders.
So Jesper has the ability to take over, but he's got a very low persuasion score, so his chances are quite low. We could spend influence to try and make that happen. Let's have a look at if we can get another counselor on the cheap. So we could get you, rebel with additional command points, administration, espionage. I'd like a tech mogul or something like that. You can basically start tech mogul or a tycoon that could start actually bringing a lot of organizations on side, because that actually is a way we can get science without necessarily having nations under control. I think we're going to hold off at least for a little bit and get a better quality person, but we need to get some things rolling here.
Your orders.
So what we're going to do is we're going to go for it here. We're going to spend 4 resource points to try and take control of a node in
Establishing our
Canada.
presence.
Meanwhile,
Ready to go.
we're going to increase the unrest in Canada using some of our ops if we can. That's going to be expensive. Yeah, it's too expensive. We can't do that. Okay. I don't want to sabotage facilities just yet. Let's see what people are doing. Because it'd be interesting to see where people are starting. So, the initiative have decided to take over some African nations, which obviously have more unrest, so it's easier to take control of them. Ooh. Project X is going to take over Argentina. I'm going to actually surveil...
On Overwatch.
Let's surveil Argentina.
Reporting in.
Alright. In your case, we're going to go for a control nation attempt as well. I'm going to put in... I'm going to put in 2 points and take a 1 in 4 chance.
Establishing our presence.
So, 60% and a 1 in 4. If we take over 2 nodes, this is perfect, but it's unlikely. Okay, with all that done, we just have a quick check on our research. So that'll be finished on the 11th of November, which is fine. Everything else is going to be eventually. But we need to find the aliens.
Initiating recon.
India and Pakistan started nuking each other, so things can go down quick. Oh yeah, they can. Okay, so xenoforms detected in Brazil is interesting. We're going to have to deal with that. There are various things that happen with this. Okay, UN security meets. We're going to deliver our manifesto to the world. So this immediately gives us 50 influence, which means we can hire that 4th counselor. It also gives a public opinion boost to Humanity First. Unfortunately, each of the other factions is going to learn about us. Unfortunately, I don't see a reason not to go for this. We want the influence, and while there is a bit of a risk, we'll manage, I think.
We must not only defend human lives from the aliens, we must ensure those lives remain worth living.
So the Resistance have also revealed themselves in the same manner we have. That's fine. We don't mind the Resistance too much. We want to be staying on their side where we can, because they're kind of in offense. We're the only 2 people to reveal, though, which is interesting. Okay, we have finished the Alien Flora project. Oh no, we can now research that. Yeah. Okay, let's keep things going and see how this goes. It'd be nice if we've got one of these 2.
We've gained significant support.
Okay, so we've gained control of one of the 3 nodes of Canada. This now means that we can determine what its priorities are going to be. So it wants more military spending. We don't need a military spending. We're going to have our military be the US, so we don't need anything of that. Spoils is corruption, and honestly, we can get away with that, apparently, which is fine. We don't need it to be generating not too much money for us. We don't need it to be a space flight thing. Don't need that. For some reason, it's building nuclear. Canada's building nukes. Connor has clearly taken over. But we are going to increase the unity, knowledge, and economy scores. I'm actually going to put some welfare points as well. So what this does is it sorts out the inequality of the nation as well, which should help other factors here. It's already kind of peaceful, so that's fine. Yeah, okay, this is fine. Effectively, we're just got control of 1/3 of its basic economy, and this is where we're focusing it. For the moment, we don't care too much about what Canada does, but it's fine. We need it to help us take over the US. Speaking of which, let's keep going. Did we get the other one?
Take control.
We didn't. That's fine. So 26% chance, roll of 73. And our counselor has been spotted. So one of the other factions may decide to take some actions against him. But we shall see when that happens. Okay, so we have 104 influence here. Let's see if we can... Politeness, of course. So we can take a hacker, which gives us a high investigative character. I need to actually check what we got here. We don't have an investigative character, really. We can kind of convert. We can do the things here. I need somebody with... honestly, if the Tech Mogul or the Tycoon had a better investigation score, I might be going with that. The hacker seems like that might be useful. We can probably live without either. We could go for the Diplomat, actually. Because that kind of gives us an all-rounder in a lot of ways. The problem is, I kind of do want... Let's have a look at what your abilities are here. Is a billionaire, so gives us a huge boost to monthly income and some influence. Unfortunately, because she's a billionaire, minus the espionage score. Even more espionage once she's detected. Does not want to go into space for any reason, and is apparently ethical, which lowers her ability in certain countries. Meanwhile, if we go to a tech thing, you are eminent and affluent, so we wouldn't get as much income. Honestly, that's not really that great. Alright, may not do any missions in Brazil. Cannot perform in Brazil twice. And is a cynic, which lowers their loyalty. And it only has an apparent loyalty of 1. We're not going to hire you with an apparent loyalty of 1. It's too easy for him to get turned and just, you know, work against us here. I think we're going to... We may regret this, but I'm kind of thinking we go for the hacker here. And just give up on the other things. Because we need somebody who can do investigative work. Potentially steal projects from the other people. Connect to other teams to try and get things going. You do so little for us if we take you. You at least do have other things, including hostile takeovers, so we can take other organizations. This is tricky. Yeah, the Betrayer Hacker. We're limiting ourselves a lot if we take the Tycoon, but I think we're going to take the Tycoon. Alright, we have our 4th agent. So the other thing we can do with the agents is we can potentially assign them organizations. We do have to, unfortunately, spend resources to get them, but if we do, and based on their administration score, they can gain additional stats, like obviously science, sped up research, allows them to potentially do some other actions as well, which is quite nice. But there are limits on what you can take based on administration score, home nation, and whether we have control of certain areas. So, that being done, let's continue trying to take control of Canada. So we're going to spend another 4 influence to try and do that.
Them on board.
Acknowledged.
We're then going to attempt to fight the aliens, because apparently there's some alien life forms here, so we're going to take them out.
Taking it to 'em.
Ready for my mission.
Money allows us to spend money to buy things, mostly of the time. So you have the ability to control nations as well, but we're going to have you defend our interests in Canada. It's 20 influence to do this, but it basically protects the node from being attacked by other people. No, actually, you know what? Let's not do that. We're going to instead... you see, there's not much you can genuinely do right now, which is annoying. Yeah, maybe I should have just... I could go for a small nation, actually, and just see if we can take over things. Greenland is its own thing under Denmark. Could just randomly take control of Iceland to give ourselves something. Where can we go in Africa that would be helpful? Probably not anywhere. South Africa, like. I'm just looking to see if I can get any freebies. Spend money on deals with other factions. That is something you can do. You can buy resources, or at least buy and trade on the open market. We can go and take control of North Korea. I mean, that would help, actually. You know what? We're going to take a 50-50 and take over North Korea. Actually, you're trying to take over Botswana. Are we not going to North Korea? Oh, actually, no. The servants have already taken over North Korea. Okay, this is me not being observant here, but our big enemies have taken over North Korea. That's not nice, because they have a nuke. Alright, let's just go for a low percentage chance here. We can take them over later. But the thing is, I don't get a lot for just taking it at this stage. It would be resources. So this is going to be a slow burn, and we'll see how things go, but... yeah, we don't have Crackdown at the moment with this particular character. Alright, what else are we
Ready
doing
for
this
my
turn?
mission.
Let's work out what else we're doing. We could advise the nation, which gives them a little bit more science things and whatever else. Japan looks free, but I'm currently on the US plan. We're just going to go for another low percentage chance of taking over the Canada node.
We'll bring this nation
1
to our
quarter.
side.
Where do you need me?
It's fine, don't worry about it. We'll work other things out. Let's have a look. I'm going to have Caribbean states. Let's take over the Caribbean states. No influence cost, just get us there. Again, not expecting too much, but we can use the Caribbean states to give us a couple effects, and I think they might still count as neighbours to the US. Anyway, let's confirm, and let's spin on time.
By the numbers.
Good news! We were able to deal with the alien flowers. Humanity first for you.
To establish control.
We failed on a 74. That is annoying. We'll actually repeat that mission.
We're taking over.
However... oh, that was Caribbean. Okay, so you failed in the Caribbean. Still, we got the Canada node, which was the important one. Critical success, so that also shifted things in our favour. Optics for Humanity First have detected somebody in Georgia. Okay. Alien sent flowers, we sent fire! We did.
We were unable to establish control.
Okay, that was fine. Okay, so now we know where another counselor is.
Ready.
So I have nobody capable of doing investigations on those.
Standing
oh,
by
that's
for
not
orders.
good. Oh, I might have to have a reshuffle here. What are you giving me other than just stuff? It's a good administration science score, but I don't think it's actually helping me a great deal. I mean, to be fair, it's not the end of the world if we can't investigate, but it's fine. We'll have to find something to do with you in a moment. Okay.
By.
Let's go for that last control node. Not with you, though. Actually, you can go for Caribbean nations here just to try and
Bringing
get some
them to our
free
side.
points. It is. I'm aware it's control cap as well as persuasion and command. But for now, we're just going to take our... we might as well go for it because we're quite close. So let's bump it up to 73.
Control.
What's the up?
We're then going to... I think we're going to surveil here as
Setting
well.
a watch.
Just make sure there's nothing else in this area. I think it should be fine that we cleared out the fauna, but we'll do that anyway. You never know. Also, did we get the second node here? We did. For the moment, again, just doing things. So, command is basically their ability to do non-covert ops, basically. So, for example, going for assassination missions, it also is partially used for... that's espionage, rather. But for increasing and stabilizing nations, which is quite useful. Not for Canada. Canada's fine as far as I can work out. It's got a peaceful 1.3. The more destabilized the nation is, the easier it is to take over. So actually, one thing we could do with you is we could start trying to destabilize the US. On the basis that it would make things that little bit easier for us. I'm going to take a 1 in 10 here, largely because I don't think I've got a better plan, and it's not worth spending a ton of points. Actually, 1%, yeah. Alright. We've got nothing else to do with this guy just yet, but he is going to be useful later. Just start trying to disrupt the US a little bit. It'll be fine. We can always stabilize it once we have control of it.
Every circumstance
Curse
is
your
an
bad timing.
opportunity. Our test is to recognize and seize it.
So the initiative have been encountered. And... conflicted with dinner time. It does, unfortunately. Okay, we have a new project available. We're going to have this done basically imminently, so we'll cut that down.
The revolution will not be today.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, this is a low percentage chance, but we might as well have him doing it. There are other things we could do. We could destabilize Mexico, actually, because we're probably going to need to take Mexico over before we do anything major. Alright, so we have researched. We now have an additional thing. Let's go and... In your life has survived the crash, exit the area, and now is at large on Earth. It's already hearing rumors of missing animals and chillingly missing people. Okay. We can find out what our visitors are doing. So, things to research. Let's then go with the Alien Flora Project. And we'll spend a bit more points on this. Purge Vecinos! Absolutely. That is certainly the plan. We've already purged the one landing site we're aware of. Right. Mr. Moore, I think actually what we're going to do with you instead... Actually, no, we're not at the end of the turn. That was the start of the turn. Playing humanity first. Wow, we critical failured. So humanity first is now less popular in Canada.
We failed to take control.
You are still failing to deal with the Caribbean.
We failed to take control.
And we also failed Canada. Okay, well, it's fine. We have had setbacks in Canada. Okay. Control point Canada can be better defended. We will sort out defending in a little bit. I don't think we're at risk at the moment of anything. The downside is I suppose the Academy can take it over quite easily because they're quite popular in there. And we are basically this small little red slice which we will need to adjust if we want to keep Canada. We might not. Let's increase the unrest in Mexico then. With a... We don't have a huge up score and I've got nothing that's giving it back. So let's just...
The people will rise.
Let's just have that going.
Ready
Can
to
you
go.
finally take this darn place over?
Putting
It'd be
our
really
people
nice
in
of you to
place.
actually do that.
What's the op?
Take over the Caribbean.
Bringing them on board.
Ready
All
to
right.
go.
I am a little starved, but we'll get some back. Actually, I didn't check whether we got any No, we can't equip any orgs at the moment. Right. Let's spend a ton of influence here. 16, get ourselves that
Bringing
nation.
them to our side.
Potentially, which is why I'm going for about the 70-80 range, because that is about a 70-80% chance. Anyway, that all done. Do we want to adjust our adjustments on things? Probably not. 26, isn't it? We can't easily beat them. 41 can't easily beat them. We'll let the Academy do their thing. You will. This is true. I'm focusing on Canada because that is a higher science
Unable
score
to instigate an uprising.
initially than Mexico, which is where we're going second. Once we have both Canada and Mexico, we get additional neighbor bonuses to allow us to try and take over the US. The US is really difficult to take over. We have found an alien fleet. The enemy is coming to our doorstep again.
We were unable to establish control.
Oh, for God's sake.
Our supporters are in place.
Good news! We have the Caribbean!
We still lack support.
You have failed every single roll. What? Alright, well, keep going. I knew we shouldn't have gone with the site. Knew we should have gone with a one loyalty hacker. Yeah, it wants us to take over Brazil, but it's just not viable. Alright. I think I've been more than patient with you here. Let's go and do one more takeover. We have enough influence. Let's just spend
We'll be
the
running
points to
this
get
place
that.
in no time.
Standing by.
Okay, we'll go for another increase unrest at 10,
government must
17%.
fall.
And
Acknowledged.
let's see. So what's your odds here? 79% to take over. I think we'll spend a couple of points of influence just to push that
We'll
into
be
the
running
high
this place
80s.
in no time.
And
Acknowledged.
you... I mean, you only have a persuasion score of 2. Let's go defend our interests in Canada. It's expensive, and I'd like to do that after we already have all 3 nodes sorted out. But what else am I going to do? Actually, okay, we'll double up on this. Make sure we get it.
We'll bring this nation to our side.
Yep, nuclear war is definitely a thing that can happen. Okay. We need to focus on international aid. We could focus on calling in the generals, actually. Yeah, we need more military. We now control Guybrush Threepwood, assuming we get the second node. I actually didn't even set this up. It's fine as it is for the moment.
The uprising is underway.
Excellent! We have made Mexico slightly worse.
Our presence is growing.
Okay, we also now have control of the Caribbean
We've got our
states.
people in place.
And we have control of Canada. Okay.
Prepping for next mission.
So, let's readjust. Again, we don't really need Canada to be doing anything else for us here. So, that's fine. The good news is, we now have 64 science added to our pool, so that's a reasonable number. The US's numbers are far better, which is why we want them instead, but at least it's some more reasonable number than if we'd gone Mexico to start. Speaking of which, what's the Caribbean states doing for us? Honestly, I think we're just going to get some stuff out of this. We don't need to build them to build armies. We're just going to go for a little bit of welfare, a little bit of spoils. Okay. EU can be, yep, but it doesn't have nukes or an army. And since we are humanity first, we probably want the armies. Okay. Let's keep
Mission
going.
cancelled.
That's cancelled because you've already done it. Or somebody else has already done it for you. New organizations have become available in the marketplace. We'll have a quick look through those. Unfortunately, don't have the ability to grab these at the moment because we've got a quite low influence. And our money's not amazing. And it is mostly influence we need for most of these if we're looking at this. Anyway. Particularly Germany. No, but there's redunculous development points due to faction. And true, the only downside is, and it's wonderful I've done with my Exodus run, actually take over France and then slowly start taking chunks of the EU. It works quite well. But for now, we have our plan. I say we have our plan. We have now got a 1% chance, which I can increase to 7, of taking over the United States. And this is largely because we've got additional 2.6 points from just having that. So there are things we're going to have to do. But I think to start with, we're going to increase our cores in Mexico. Actually, do I want to even do this?
Ready.
Well, we'll defend interests in Canada. Just make sure
Securing
nobody
our
can
control.
come back and hurt us
I'm
with
here.
that. We can have you start advising Canada as well for 10 influence at pop. Actually, we want to save that, don't we? %, though. No, I mean 10 influence a pop. Let's go and actually advise
Offering
Canada.
counsel.
So he'll use his
Ready.
administration and science stats to make Canada improve themselves a little faster for us, which is potentially nice here. We're going to go a public campaign in Mexico and start building up some support here. This is one of the places we spend money, by the way.
I will try to sway the public.
I'm here.
And meanwhile, let's go and surveil. Let's just find out where people are at this point. There's a lot happening in France. Let's
Surveilling
just surveil
target
in
area.
France and see if we can see what the Academy's doing. The Academy is going for the EU strat in a big way. They seem to be spread quite a lot of places at the moment, which is a little concerning.
They are here to cleanse our sick world. The aliens are our saviors. and all who oppose them are enemies of the future.
These are the worst enemies we have. There are aliens, of course, but these people are worse.
Our only hope is to understand what the aliens want with us and determine how to satisfy them without losing our independence.
Yes, Master. Yes. Okay. So that's the protectorate.
Offering assistance.
So, by being assigned to Canada, you increase the research by 8%. Also, GDP calculations by 8%. I mean, spoilers, if that is spoilers. I've only played up until a very early point of this game.
Making things safe for our people.
Okay, so...
The trick is not to look directly at what you're trying to see. Offset your focal point somewhere to the side of where you think you notice the movement. At night, the center of your vision doesn't work as well as during the day. I won't try to explain the science to you. What matters is you'll see whatever is out there before they see you. Colonel Hans Castillo, advising conscripts in Colombia.
So, we now have Deep System Skywatch.
The Surat al-Baqarah teaches that in the creation
and the
of
mission to
heaven...
space. And hopefully, public opinion increase in Mexico. It now stands at 6%. Okay. Yeah, maybe this wasn't a good idea to try and force this early, but we've started. We might as well continue. Alright, Victor 1 has arrived in low Earth orbit. It's going to crash land, isn't it? What do you know? It crash lands in Russia. Okay, well, we have something else for a couple of our agents to do then. So, let's just quickly scan through. Can anybody else do an investigation on this? You can. So you're going to investigate the alien activity in Russia.
On the way to the target site.
Reporting in.
You are going to go and surveil in this part of Russia, because almost certainly there's going to be some fauna we want to take out. And we do want to take it out. I could spend 20 influence defending Canada, but I'm not sure I need to. I could have a low attempt at... Mexico doesn't really do a lot. Taking Guatemala actually might not be the worst thing in the world. Oh, the resistance area. Again, this gives us a sort of neighbor continuity here, so we'll have a low chance of taking that over. What's our odds now? So we spend a lot of influence for a 50-50 shot. I think we're going to go public campaigning again. Spend more money, get the slow improvements.
Making our case.
Okay. So
we believe we can join them as brothers and sisters. If we only convince them we are worthy.
A worthy goal, possibly. But who knows?
On Overwatch.
Okay, so what's going on around the crash site?
The people will come to our side.
Yeah, I mean, it is working, but it is a 1% chance of time. There are probably easier ways for me to manage this, but
the dreamer in me wants to believe it would bring a golden age of advancement and prosperity for all mankind.
Oh, clandestine cells. We need that.
I know better. Any race advanced enough to find us would be advanced enough to end us.
That is exactly true. Okay. Okay, so that tech hasn't shown up yet, but we will need it once we can. I'm going to actually go full-on alien fauna for the moment. We'll leave the rest as is. I don't really need to take over anything particularly, so that's fine. Carry on.
Recon complete.
We failed to take control.
Yeah, you've actually failed everything here. I might... If she can't prove her usefulness soon, I might have to just get rid of her. Also, just realized that we have... Yeah, okay. The resistance are in Mexico. I might have to change course. Or just go for all or nothing Hail Mary on this. We can improve our things in the US quite easily. Alright. Public campaign
Must
in
persuade
the
the
US.
At your service.
Let's go and take out the alien asset.
Gear up.
No, the easiest faction is
Where
the one that's trying to support the aliens as we go. Okay. So what's our backup plan here? What's happening in India? India would not be a bad backup plan. Okay, and we finally have enough money to actually buy a thing. Unfortunately, it's only giving us additional income. It's not giving us any additional traits or stats or anything that we could potentially use. It's probably still worth us picking this up. But we could do with some stat increases. We'll take this. Actually, no, they're not going to give it to you because there's a chance I might just get rid of you. Now, clandestine cells is going to come. That'll give us another person. We can potentially recover from there. Let's give you this organization. So, hurrah! We can make the economy slightly better. Spend money to make money. Absolutely. So, again, if we look at adjacency things... Problem is, you are terrible at this, and I keep making you do this job, and you're not good at it. You potentially, though, have a purge option. I mean, purging without a crackdown would be quite an achievement here, but we could potentially try and kick you out of that. Japan... No, because anything that would be decent is going to be awkward for us to get here. We could just go back. We could go backwards and try and take over the Commonwealth. That'd be a plan. Yeah, the only org we got though just gave us more money for the moment. I guess we'll throw this away and just see if we can. Because we're absolutely desperate for resources right now. Let's 14%, 1 influence for 18%. Yeah, we took her because obviously she was a tycoon and had a high administration score and was bouncing things out.
Our presence.
And our other option was the hacker, who would have been far more useful, but had no loyalty. Apparently, though, that would have been better for us. Okay. You know, honestly, this is our starting person.
Standing by for orders.
I'm wondering if I just go for the Mexico point anyway. I'm fairly certain that we're not going to take it because... Yeah. It is useful. I'm not underestimating it. I'm just suggesting I could probably be thinking about other things. Alright. Let's go the other way here. Since this country is kind of with us anyway, and it doesn't have the... Actually, there's only 12 points a node. It's still not great. Well, let's go for Brazil.
Control.
On the basis at this point, we probably need to just get some more resources rather than worry about anything in specific here. So yeah, we're going to have you go for Brazil as well. We'll give you enough influence to get a 50-50 shot at it. But 2 nodes would be helpful.
Taking control.
Okay.
It has always been true that we must
Run
leave
away!
the cradle if our species is to survive. If these aliens are indeed hostile, the time to go is now.
Again, we know nothing about them yet except they crashed 2 ships. I mean, it could be a really weird kinetic attack, but, you know, maybe it is.
Score one for the good guys.
Ah! Well, as you can see here, there is a kaiju in Russia. Hello, Frank.
Our supporters are in place.
Alright, so we gained a point in Brazil. Good question, because I've actually destroyed the fauna immediately on both things. Okay.
We failed to take control.
Failed on the second one.
We
That's
were unable
fine.
to establish
And-
control.
Oh yeah, I forgot I made you go for Cuba. Right, so looks like Mexico's fully under. Yeah, so fully under there, which is fine. I guess at this point we need to actually start making Canada more useful. They need at least 11% spoils. Let's go and put that in. Leave that to China. Yes, I mean it is in Russia, but yes, we'll leave it to China. Okay, no new orgs. We are getting close to the point of being able to actually give some people some upgrades, which would be nice. More money, that's it. Okay.
Where do you need me?
Honestly, might just have you investigate here for reasons.
Initiating recon.
What's the op?
Have your 7%
We'll be
chance.
running
You're
this
probably
place
more
in no
likely to just
time.
lower the things
Ready
here,
for
but let's keep on this. I could actually.
Establishing control.
Okay, we'll get some back. All right, let's keep going for Mexico. Mexico, Brazil.
Setting a watch.
We still lack support.
Roll a 69 over 67. That is unfortunate. All right, repeat that.
We were unable to establish control.
We still lack support.
Well, we suck.
Ready.
Well, now that we know what that is, we're going to assault
Going in
the
hot.
alien fauna that's here.
Your orders?
I thought it'd be worth defending our interests here because we just don't have any. Well, I have to do something with them. I could actually have a set to ground. Honestly, yeah, let's go to ground.
Hunkering down.
Go and hide. Yeah, you might actually be good at that. Okay. Confirm.
Evading pursuit.
This is true. They are gaining XP. We can slowly make them better. Might even be able to give them some organizations that allow them to do things soon.
Target's still in one piece.
Okay. Well, we failed to deal with that.
Our presence is growing.
2
We
points
failed to take
in
control.
Brazil, but not 3. I didn't have to even adjust this from last time, so that's just the default setting. I really don't care about them building nukes. We might need Brazil to be building our armies for us. But it's going to take a while. Honestly, we could probably do with just getting some more science and stuff in. Military is kind of worthless, so we're not going to worry about that too much. Don't need money out of them. I think we might have to get some specialist countries for this. There is one that's the obvious pick, which we might go to in a moment. But for now, let's just keep going with what we are.
Your orders?
Apparently we can't fight that anymore. How's the kaiju doing? 92% still there. Right. Let's have a look, actually. Yeah, unsurprisingly, the people who want to escape have already kind of put a foothold here.
On Overwatch.
But let's survey Kazakhstan. Let's actually, can we purge it? Is it still new? I mean, to be fair, your espionage is not great, so this is a terrible idea for you to try it. Why have you even got this as an option is a good question. Nah, you can just stay the
Going
ground.
into hiding.
You can just stay hiding.
Where do you need me?
Alright. Let's actually get control of this nation then, finally.
Putting our people in place.
50-50 and...
We'll bring
80%.
this nation to our side.
Also, quick check on things. So we have actually got some improvements. So, I mean, if I gave you this, that'd actually make you actually somewhat usable. I mean, you'd have 3, or I could give it to somebody who's actually good at their job. Yeah, we're going to give you this. It's expensive, but 9 administration, 9 persuasion. And a slight improvement has been made. We're also near at the point of experience up. If I give them this, it's probably actually a better idea to have you actually try and fail things. But we'll have you try and fail things we don't care about.
Reporting in.
For example, as mentioned, Cuba. Actually, no. We'll go for Guatemala.
Bringing them on board.
We genuinely don't care about Guatemala. We'll probably just use it entirely as a money thing here. My tycoon is pretty terrible.
Initiating recon.
These which rolls a crit success. Absolutely. But I needed to be doing something to earn some experience points to try and get her out of this.
Taking over.
Okay, good. 3 points in Brazil.
Our presence is growing.
She's actually hit a critical success in Guatemala, rolling a 0. Well, there we go. She's finally done something.
We're taking over.
I'd love to say I
Be ready
care
for
about
new orders
Guatemala,
soon.
but you know. Yep, absolutely. Alright, let's get Brazil on track in a meaningful way here. Yes, we need our unrest to be solved, actually, so let's do that. Spoils? How high do you want spoils? 31% of income in spoils, jeez. Well, we're not going to go for that. We're going to actually lower that off. We're going to hopefully deal with that by just increasing welfare eventually, but it's going to cause us a little problem for now. Yeah, we're going to try it and start rotating. Yeah, absolutely. Alright, so there's a lot that needs to happen for Brazil to be good for us, but it's a start. I suppose we could just take over the entire of South America and try and base it from that. Unfortunately, I don't think we can do anything in the Arctic, but it could be fun. Alright, so spin time on. Up to 218 science now. And let's have a quick look and see what's available. So we have our first point up, and we can diplomacy annex nations. This is very true. Unfortunately, I have Canada and I have Brazil. I was thinking possibly doing Commonwealth shenanigans, but we need to worry about that later. So give you the criminal, gives you things, minus security in that, maybe not. I think honestly we'll just take the extra persuasion point here. Need you to be slightly better. Okay, so let's have a quick look at our 2 things here. I mean, Brazil's actually not that much worse than Canada in terms of actual science output at the moment. True. We're in theory, we're waiting on the thing that allows us to do that. Clandestine cells. I don't think that's come up yet as an option. No, it is not. That's fine. Well, next up, Argentina, I suppose.
Ready for my mission.
But first...
Heading to the LZ.
Ready for orders.
As much as I don't... We don't need this, do we? No, let's go Venezuela. Venezuela's going to be not at all useful, actually, come to that. I'm trying to see what's actually got some reasonable points for cheap. Never here, I am here. I mean, fine. Fine. We say hello, Aegon. Alright, let's defend interest in Brazil. I don't think anyone's going to try and take it from us, but it's a worthy enough thing that she can actually do. So we'll do that.
For orders.
We'll have you start advising Canada, because we need more points, and we need a bit of a speed boost in terms of our overall stuff and things. And... no, we just have a kaiju in Russia. It's all good. We can take over quite quickly. Let's go for Argentina. Argentina's probably reasonable. And then we're going to take over the Falklands. Definitely the plan. Take Argentina, take the Falklands.
Putting our people in place.
Yeah, so where is it? Yeah, there we are. It's all good. It's just sitting there, and it's currently doing... it's destabilizing bits of Russia. So, you know, there's that. Also, I was looking through the chat and I'm trying to remember myself what I called him. I think I called him Frank. If I didn't call him Frank, his name is now Frank. Batten down the hatches, absolutely. I mean, the war in Ukraine is still going on, and if Russia were attacked by a kaiju right now, I'm not sure they'd be in the best position to deal with it. I did call him Frank. That's fine. I can't remember. I kept my name on the spot, and I can't be expected to have memory. Quickly flick through, see if there's anything we can add, but I think we're low on resources for that anyway. Okay. Confirm. Let's go.
I will help them.
So,
Securing
Canada slowly improves. Brazil is now safe from being taken over for the moment. We can now research clandestine cells. That is slightly more important than alien fauna. It's also more important than our other technologies right now because we are so low on points. We need an extra... we need somebody who can do proper investigative work. So we're going to put everything into this. Currently the 4th of April, if we get no additional science boosts.
Target secured.
Reduce the alien flora and fauna by 35%, but it is still likely some remains. True, but I kind of want to focus on getting that extra person first. Either way, we've hit a success in Argentina, so we earn 1 additional node. Okay, confirming assignments. So, Argentina, not really developing a lot for us at the moment. It's also... yeah, we need to reduce the unrest here. But unfortunately, I do think it's worth us... oh no, actually, we can do that then. Okay, that's fine. Let us then start stabilizing Brazil.
We'll turn down the heat.
At your service.
Humanity first, because it was decided that that was better than doing all of the other options. So, we purge for Xenos.
Ready to go.
Indeed. Okay. So, let's go for a control on Argentina, because it's going to be quite easy.
Acknowledged.
And then, finally, let's go for another control on Argentina.
Bringing them on board.
Standing by for orders.
You can go for Uruguay.
We'll be running this place in no time.
I don't know if it's necessarily a good idea to go for places that are right next to each other, but I like the idea of having South America and just trying to do things for that. And then we take over the Falklands. Also, what's the... oh, that's the station. I was about to say, what random island in the Pacific of the Academy taking over? But yes, I really don't care about holding this. What do we want to get out of this, in truth? Yeah, let's just have it do spoils and we'll just do that. We can always abandon it later. I'm all in favour of secretly ruling America too. Take the North Pole. Santa would be an asset. I mean, I do have Canada. Arguably, I have the northernmost... Nah, it's going to be Denmark. Okay, so I need to take over Denmark at some point. But we'll work on that. Denmark can be next. Anyway, with all that done, and another quick scan of the things. So let's see, 31st of March. We basically save a whole month by not putting anything in the rest of them, and we do really want a 5th person, so yeah, let's go. Of course I do. Yeah, of course I do. That's United Kingdom there. That's just a blip, obviously. Don't worry about it. Okay. We will repeat that. Getting Brazil stabilized would be quite helpful to us, in truth.
We've got our people in place.
We've gained significant support.
Excellent. We have control of Argentina. So that's an extra 40 science points. So that will be fine. And again, we don't really want them to be doing army building. Don't need them to be space plans. We can take some of the funding down at the moment because we're probably going to get a huge amount of money out of it. What do you need for military to be safe? You need... Spoils needs to be 25. Well, screw that. More science. Take over Norway and put somebody smart in charge, please. I mean, to be fair, I'd be replacing them with me, so I'm not sure that qualifies. We also don't need them building up their military at the moment. It's probably reasonable for us to just keep doing the welfare stuff for the time being. We are smart. We are extremely smart. Okay.
Our supporters are in place.
We have a point in Uruguay as well.
Wrapping up here. So, in theory, Brazil's on the equator, so it should have a reasonably good time if it was doing a spaceflight program type thing. Yeah, military's not a strong point here. It's a problem, but let's go for something a bit silly, potentially. We'll take down the welfare a little bit and start pumping some points into a Brazilian spaceflight program. Yeah, this is what I was kind of remembering things. So, in theory, yeah. The Red Hands are the faction symbol. So, that is the Humanity First faction with the current objectives listed there. So, speaking of which, what do we know about the other factions? We know almost nothing because we have no character doing any kind of investigative work. But hey, we do have Canada. Okay, well, you were successful once, so go for Uruguay again. Establishing control.
There are some new organizations we might want to acquire. Ooh, we do. One of them has things. The second one actually has more things, but no stat increases. Still worth us picking up the boost. Oh, those are satellites. Well, yeah, orbits. Some of them could be ships. Well, you know what? We're going to take this. It costs us money, but what's money at the moment? Yep, confirm purchase. And yeah, so this gives us a bit of an espionage boost. If we can put this on you, that's actually kind of helpful. Yeah, we'll do that. 28 influence for a point of espionage is probably fine. One of them... Yes. Whatever it is. Okay, well, slight increases. Also, we have some experience gains. So, what are we doing here? We're currently using you to control things. Could increase your administration to help us out there. Could increase your science skill as well, but I think what we'll do is go on the persuasion route, because we're kind of using you as our second control nation person at this point. I mean, I am a weird thing for anybody to be recommending. I'm going to be perfectly honest about that. We are extremely weird here. And 18th of March, so weird is what we do, indeed. Okay, so Argentina currently upgrading itself. Brazil building a space program. I could focus a little more, but given Brazil is our second best nation for the most part, we'll probably have to go with it. So what's the plan here? Uruguay doesn't give us that much, but again, we're taking it because we might as well. Paraguay, Bolivia, Peru, Ecuador? Also, I'm not alone here, randomly. Oh. Oh yeah, I forgot. France, you say? Well, we may have to get them to give up that colony at some point. Indeed, Ecuador. So, Chile's currently got to be the next plan, I think. So, let's go control
We'll bring
Chile.
this nation to our side.
Where do you need me?
And we will attempt to control Chile.
We'll be running this place.
I've given on Mexico largely because I don't want to fight the only possible allies I'm going to have throughout this campaign, really. Because the resistance are in Mexico. So, I could kick them out. And it's probably early enough in the game that I could absolutely do that. But it makes it harder for us to take it in the first place. And, yeah. Oh, yeah, it is. In the meantime, what am I doing with Ecuador? With Uruguay, rather. Honestly, I might just use this as a funding thing, in truth. I like just setting it to destroy. Indeed, we are. Okay. Yeah, we'll just go high in the funding here. High in funding, high in spoils. Military is probably worth having a little bit in, but we're not going to go for any spaceflight shenanigans with you. And hopefully the rest of it will fix itself eventually. Okay. There are probably more optimal ways I could be doing things, but, you know. This is not an optimal run-through. This is just a random game, so... That I'm still heavily learning 10 hours into it. Okay, so Brazil is slowly going down. We could technically ally with the Academy.
We've gained significant support.
Alright, so we gained a point in Chile.
We've got our people in place.
You have actually successfully taken over Uruguay by yourself. I'm almost impressed.
Prepping for next mission.
We've got our people in place.
Excellent. Oh, I have noticed one thing that I've done. That is that's a step too far. So what I've not been doing is looking at my points. However, we do have one that we can abandon. So we're going to abandon Guatemala, which will give us back 5 points. Put us only 4 over the cap, and hopefully we can be close enough that we'll get away with it for the short term, and we might be able to recover that shortly anyway. So let's give you an extra point of command, which does give us 3 away. And then we wait. Okay. Also, the universe, as we understand it. In theory, you can scale that even further, but, you know. Also, one of the things I do like, they have all the Lagrange points as well, and you could, in theory, build stations there. We might even do that at some point. Still.
What's the op?
Okay. So now that we've done all that, we need to kind of stabilize a little bit and start getting some proper advisors in place. So, what are our best options here? We probably want to get Canada. Canada's still our best nation in terms of just general science production and also economy. So we're going to have our scientists continue to just advise it. We can now have you actually start. You can crack down, but you can't actually do anything like Asia. Let's start stabilizing Brazil.
Restoring order.
Ready for orders.
You have nothing we can target right now, so we'll keep stabling Brazil.
We'll restore peace to this nation.
What's the op?
And defending interests. So let's defend Argentina. This costs us a lot of influence to do, but it keeps them safe for a while. Okay. Spin time on. Okay, we can now take the Xenology Lab project.
Securing our control.
Argentina's secure.
Things are stabilizing.
Critical success, so down to 3.9.
Things are cooling off.
So Brazil stabilizing will increase its economy, will increase its scientific output, and actually at some point it's going to overtake Canada, the way this is going at the moment. So the new normal. Initial upheaval in response to the alien arrival is calm, somewhat with various political groups realizing that whatever the alien is, the end of the world is not immediately upon us. Okay. So now we get an action every 2 weeks rather than one. So, yay. Things slow down. Let's, what do we do with you? We can't do a lot, in truth. I could try and start kicking people out of France, but you're actually not that good at it, are you? No, because you purge, you don't actually crack down.
Standing by.
Okay, I think we'll keep on the advising of Canada.
Offering support.
With our scientists,
we
will have you continue to stabilize.
We'll turn down the heat.
Michael, have you got anything else you can do? I suppose we could start surveilling things. We know there was the initial crash landing here, so let's just make sure nothing else is happening.
Area.
Your orders?
And let's see if what we can do with Brazil at the
Heading
moment.
to the capital.
I could probably go and investigate that first, but I honestly have nothing to do with you, so let's just go for it. Maybe aliens will leave fewer in the planet. I mean, global warming is a thing that this game does track. I haven't triggered any events that cause it, but it does track it.
Eyes up.
Alright, Victor 2 has arrived in orbit. I'm sure just like the last one, it's going to float around there doing nothing. Oh no, it's crashed in Tanzania. Oh well. These aliens, they're not very good in our atmosphere, are they?
Violence is abating.
I mean, true. What did I talk about? I'm stabilizing Brazil. I'm making it a better economy. That's surely gonna. Yeah, you're right. I'm doing nothing at all.
Policy direction complete.
Yeah, I didn't think that was anything. Still, worth a quick look. It doesn't cost us anything, and it gives you something to not do. Okay, 7th of March, and we can get our 5th agent, which we, as mentioned, probably do need. New organizations available. But available or not, we can't actually get any of them right this second. So with that, I guess we just continue doing what we're doing.
We'll make things safe.
Oh, actually, no, it's fine. We need to investigate first. Actually, no. What we should do, because there will be alien flowers that we need to take out, we're going to surveil.
Initiating surveillance.
Ready for orders.
You
Ready
can
for
investigate.
orders. We'll recon the site.
Your orders?
You can continue to stabilize.
We'll make things safe.
Standing by.
Got it. Okay, we fixed it now. Let's see. I'll get the ground. I honestly had nothing better for you to do right this second, so if we once we can actually get an investigative character, we can actually find other agents from the other people. We can actually use her to start stealing organizations, which would be extremely good. But you know, at the moment, she's kind of not helpful.
On Overwatch.
Going silent.
Oh, absolutely. That'll definitely work.
Things are stabilizing.
Okay, so Brazil down to 2.4.
Here's what we've found.
I'm not paying enough for my car insurance. Okay, yeah, and we are losing what? We're losing 0.9 influence a month, but it's still not at the realms of ridiculousness, and there's not much that we know that we could be stolen anyway that we care about. So that's fine. Meanwhile, we found another alien nest. Let's go assault it.
We're going in.
Ready to go.
Next up, let's go and have you go to ground. Actually, we will continue to check this until the situation changes, but yeah, didn't think so. Yeah, go to ground.
Initiating deep cover.
Acknowledged.
Yes, we do. Yeah, it's a nice least you got there. Alright, let's get back to advising Canada. Actually, let's have a quick check. Has Brazil caught up with Canada with its stabilization? 66.4, 13.8 economy. Yeah, okay. Brazil is now the new hotness. So let's go and advise Brazil.
Offering assistance.
Standing by.
It's already kind of massively on our side anyway, so I don't need to really improve things here. Making more resilient to interrogation attempts to turn them. No, I haven't even gotten. Basically, the furthest I've got into this game is I've started mining Mars. That's the furthest I've got, and that took quite a lot of hours, in truth. This is, as mentioned, a slow game. Interesting, but it is slow.
We'll restore peace to this nation.
America 2, America harder. I mean, it's not quite up to that level of things yet. But hey.
Hunkering down.
Yep, you keep hunkering down in Brazil. See, things are ticking up. We have completed clandestine cells. Excellent. Right, now we can get back to alien flora. But we no longer have to focus on this as much here. So let's go 14th of April, 7th of April for finish. So 1 month to finish if we go with that. Also, what increased our cap? Was it just getting Brazil stabilized? Did that give us a gradual increase, or am I missing something here? Maybe the research got that. That was just a bonus to that. I missed what we got this. Okay, down to 2.2, which again is making Brazil more. Yeah, the lower we get this stat, the better this is going to be for us. And we have wiped out all of the alien flowers.
Mum's last years were a blur of doctors and treatments. By that point, every movement was painful.
Okay, orbital shipbuilding has now been researched, and the Academy have chosen advanced electromagneticism. So huzzah. So we now have the military lab as a project we can research. But the tech could have done it as well. Anyway, with that done, We can now hire another counselor. So we badly need somebody who can investigate. The hacker that was there earlier is still there. And depressingly, he feels like the best option right now. Oh, actually, we've got a different hacker. Okay, so we can have a Loyalty 1 hacker who will join us in Brazil, hometown in India, enemy of the state of India. So they can escape us by just doing that, I suppose. Has Crackdown. We need Crackdown for effects here. Sabotage Hab module's quite fun. We can investigate counselors. I'd like to be able to do a bit more than that, in truth. What's his admin score? Okay. The 8 in espionage is quite interesting for this as well. So we get double loyalty. He has no persuasion score, but still does public campaigns. Investigation, sabotage, stealing, investigations. Alright, what stats are we getting out of you? Computer scientist. Gives us a monthly science income. Is a conspiracy theorist. Is a criminal, which does have things here. I mean, it's clearly double loyalty. 2 has got to be twice as good as 1, right? We also have you. You can turn counselors, but you can't actually do that. So... I don't know. I think, honestly... the extra 5 research is probably reasonable. It is. But if we go with you, you actually have the ability to be somewhat useful on just public campaigns as well, without too much extra assistance here. Alright, we're going to take the 1 loyalty hacker. And we're going to regret this, I'm sure. But we'll do it anyway. Welcome aboard! So, now that we've done that, let's go quick look through our things here. So we have a few more things that we can actually add on. So this provides command points, it provides security points, it also provides ops per turn, and we badly need ops per turn because we're starting to run out of those. Unfortunately, you can't take this because you don't have a massive administration, I imagine. You could take this. Don't know if it necessarily does a lot good for you, but equally you have some relevant crossover stats, so we're going to take this. And also there's an extra 2 points there, if nothing else. But again, it's just the ops plus that we needed. Oh, absolutely. That's also why we're not going to give him this. We're going to give this to... we can transfer orgs. I know it's a small cost to do that, but yeah. I just don't want to, you know, just lose him entirely or have him flip and then they decide to just give him away, which I think they can do. But, hey. We're also 1 point from getting you another point, which should be useful. Okay. So, that's fine. 332 is our current score for that. Okay. We also have enough points that we could take another country if we wanted to. Try to work out what would be best for us. So, Colombia, 17. Peru... oh, I didn't actually adjust this at all. Whoops. I forgot we had Chile. Don't need a... I mean, technically, is that... they're on the equator, more or less, aren't they? More or less. I mean, I like stealing orgs. That's something I like. I quite like doing in this game, but I don't imagine it's necessarily the plan. Let's get on with it. No. Let's wait. Let's just try and counterbalance the welfare out a little bit here. There's not too much point in increasing knowledge in this country because it's quite a low bar. Oh, 24 is not the worst thing. Alright, well, we'll do what we've done with every other country we've gotten to thus far and just do this. Okay. Paraguay. I mean, we could take this away from the Protectorate. And in all honesty, I'm kind of tempted to just take things away from the Protectorate because I want to. So let's make a start on actually making some counterplay here. So we're going to crack down on...
At your service.
Also, we found somebody we can investigate.
At your service.
Not you.
Ready.
You have a job. You need to find out who... let's see. There's somebody in... We know where all of ours are, obviously. But let's go and investigate this random person.
Target. Where to?
You are going to continue advising Brazil.
Lending my expertise.
Where do you need me?
Good question. Where do we need to? Stabilizing Brazil.
Restoring order.
Because, again, somebody needs to do that. And... I guess we start properly defending our interests here. So...
Protecting our interests.
We'll protect Chile. I don't know if anybody wants to attack Chile or take it away from us, but we're not going to let them.
Securing our interests.
We have detected an alien base. And an alien station. And another alien base. And another alien base.
How could one so young, coddled as you are by the modern world, begin to
I haven't looked at Frank in a while. Hold on.
I did what had to be done. Closing your eyes.
We'll pause. Let's find out what Frank's up to. It looks as if Frank's been dealt with, unless I completely it was in Russia somewhere. Yeah, I mean, either Frank has decided to leave, or they've actually dealt with it. So, good on Russia, I guess. Okay, new project, Alien Origin.
Person of interest surveilled.
And we found an agent for Project Exodus. Well, now that we've done that, we might be able to start doing some counterplay with the other factions a little bit.
Order is returning.
Alright, down to 1-7, so further increases to economy and research.
We've hit them where it hurts.
And we have successfully cracked down there as well. Interplanetary Warships engineering project is online. Need to get some more engineering projects.
There are two types of people in this world. Those who think...
And outpost cores are oncoming. Oh, we're going to get alien flora in about a turn, and then we might actually start seeing if we can take control of the tech tree to a certain extent. Apparently they wanted a mission to Mars before we got mission to the moon, which, I mean, I kind of get it, but sure. A good boost income. Let's take over a point in America. Okay, let me just clarify how difficult this is.
At your service.
Admittedly, we're not the Academy, which is, you know, a thing. But currently, I can have a base 2% chance. Yep. That's basically what we got to do. On my current playthrough, or both the other playthroughs I've had, this has been the same person doing all three jobs. But in this case, it's split between all three of them. Spend 64 influence for a 14% chance to take an American node, which admittingly would pretty much... yeah, it almost add another 80 points to our current science totals. It's quite a lot. Jeez. Alright, anyway.
Reporting in.
So,
where do you need
you have a job. You are going to purge Suriname. I mean, it's not really that helpful to us, but it's a one-node nation, so let's go for it. Oh yeah.
We are taking power.
Absolutely, and we don't have a lot of easy ways of starting that process. Anyway, let's keep investigating councils we don't know about. There's one in Japan, one in Vietnam, and we know about another one in the Philippines. So, go
eyes on target.
Ready.
You are going to continue to advise Brazil.
Offering support.
10 influence points well spent,
Ready for
we
my
hope.
mission.
Right, so we can't turn... Who can detain?
Standing
you
by
if you
for
can.
orders.
Here we go. Right. 8%. I mean, I could spend some ops to do this, but I think we'll have to leave that alone. Alright, we'll keep stabilizing Brazil.
We'll restore peace to this nation.
Ready.
And now that you've done that, public campaign, how much do they like us? They actually like us quite a lot. Makes it harder for them to flip it back around on us, in truth. How many points do we get for this one? This is worth... Oh wow, it's only worth 2 points. Alright, don't bother with that. We'll grab that back. Let's get Guyana on our side as well. Actually, this might be a little trickier. He says, knowing they have actually no economy, so actually it's fine. Alright, off we go. Take over here.
This nation to our side.
Wait. Where did you go? I decided to try and take over Afghanistan for no reason. Okay, let's not do that. Can I... Oh no, I can't, of course, because they've already got it. Okay. Well, Venezuela, I suppose, then, is a reasonable second option, except it's not a good option. Oh, and hello, the Protectorate are here. We can't have that.
I will tell our story.
Can't have that. Alright, so we're going to take a few steps to get the Protectorate out of South America. If we see Protectorate or Servant things, we're just going to start declaring war on them. Subversing Afghanistan is clearly a hobby.
Lending my expertise.
Continue. And we have researched alien flora. We're now able to undertake the Outpost Core project. We probably want to have that done soon. I'm thinking we might want to do something else, though. But what else would we do? Honestly, let's get this ready. We'll set ourselves up mining. It's probably not a priority for us to do it, but we'll see. Okay. 2,500. We've committed 24 to the 54. Alright, let's go big onto this, and I think the plan is to just take over a research node. Seems much. Yes, absolutely. All hail. All hail. Okay.
Wrapping up here.
Oh yeah, you're just doing your thing. They have not come in peace. Images of obvious alien military ships and structures in the far solar system has dashed hopes for peaceful conflict. So this basically, half the control points of the Academy go into crackdown for 12 months. The Academy loses a massive loss in public opinion, and nation's cohesion moves one towards the extreme ends of the spectrum. So, yeah. A peaceful conflict.
I have new information.
Okay, we have investigated. We have a resistance member.
Things are stabilizing.
Brazil is now peaceful.
We're winning their hearts and minds.
And, I mean, that's a small increase. To be fair, I'm not sure I necessarily want to immediately kick them out, but let's see how this purge goes first. Energy lab.
We are in control now.
Indeed we are. We have, we've stolen the control point. Molten salt batteries. How are we going on the space program at the moment? It's doing a thing. It's getting attacked by giant monsters. Yep. I mean, to be fair, they found the warships. That could have just been random plant life doing a thing. Aliens have become popular in the South Sudan. We might have to check that out later. For now, though, the Atlantic Fund is just a increase to monthly income -1, but also additional welfare. I mean, might as well take it. Something we could potentially sell to other factions if we wanted to. Also, you have an experience point, so let's give you... Oh yeah, I forgot I could fully customize things. I should probably do that for the next video, in truth. I'm going to take a quick break now because I've just realised it's beyond 8 o'clock, so I need to go and quickly feed that cat. And also that other cat. So I'll be back in a few moments. Right, now to remember which actually setting I've got this on. There we go. Oh dear. So yes, cats are fed, and unfortunately neither of them really wanted food. They have discovered the joy of radiator that is on, and were very much happy where they were. They'll find it eventually, but at least they have it. Oh dear. Anyway. Yes, so let's augment here. So purchase espionage. Let's actually increase the espionage thing because it's one of the few things that this character is actually good for. And by good, I mean can do. And we'll leave that as is. Cats play on the side. No, they just discovered radiator is warm. I can sit next to radiator. I like radiator. I therefore do not care about your food for right now. Especially as they do have dry food all day. It's not as if they can't eat, but you know, they've gotten accustomed to meat at certain points of the day.
Standing by.
Okay. Can we detain anybody yet? Not quite. Not as powerful as cardboard box. Yeah, cardboard box is powerful. Get a surveil here. I don't expect to find anything, but again, might as well. And yay, we have this place. What do we want to do with this place, though, really? Could build nuclear weapons and just go mad. Yeah, honestly, we don't care about this place at all.
But apparently it wants entirely military to do anything significant. Okay, well, I think that's a reasonable freeway focus on things at the moment. Okay. If it fits, it sits. If it doesn't fit, it still sits. Indeed. Indeed. Okay. With that done...
On my way
just
to
see if there's
capital.
anything interesting we
Ready
can
for
do.
orders.
Meanwhile, let's go find some more people. There's somebody in Germany with a high
Initiating
percentage, so we'll go
surveillance.
grab for use.
Reporting in.
You can continue to advise Brazil on the fact that we need more
Offering
science
counsel.
and stuff.
At your service.
And I mean, we might as well take the control point since we can. How many points are these worth? 9. We can take at least 1 point.
Establishing control.
And then we're going to kick them out. So then can fight all the wars, so no one else has to. I mean, this is why I was looking at North Korea earlier, because they have a nuke. So, in theory, you can use North Korea, just take over North Korea, fire the nuke, and then run away. All the repercussions go on North Korea, you don't care about it beyond that. It's useful, but unfortunately, the servants got there first. But we might see if we can crack them out of there at some point.
Offering assistance.
Eyes up.
It's not ideal, and it's why I want to get rid of it as soon as we can. But at the moment...
Mission abort.
Oh. Investigator's gone away. Oh yeah, they will. Which is why I'm not doing much to anger the aliens right this second. But
Mission
we are
complete.
definitely going to have to do that. No, there's nothing to do with Brazil.
Cleaning things up.
Our presence is growing.
Okay, we have a presence in Colombia. Okay, how much would it cost us to just purge? I know we haven't done any crackdown related nonsense, but...
Ready to go.
Options. We have a 10% chance of capturing one of our most hated enemies, do we? Seems fun. I mean, I said I wasn't trying to necessarily cause problems right now, and I'm not. Oh dear. Yep. Fully aware. It is useful. So this is sort of the faction control nonsense at the moment, so... So, yes. Worth noting. Well, it looks like it's going to be a unified South America versus a unified Africa, the way it's going a little way there. But, yeah, this is fine. This one's going to have Mexico. Nobody's gotten into anywhere I care too much about. China's really difficult to get into. Nobody's taken India yet. Japan's still open. I don't have a lot of spare capacity myself, but it might be worth us thinking about taking Japan at some point. If nobody's going to go for it. Oh, absolutely. No. I mean, to be fair, unified South America isn't that strong. It just has a couple of nations that can do things. And even they're not brilliant. But let's continue stabilizing.
Turn down the heat.
Ready for my mission.
Let's, I mean, I've got enough points to take A1 in Paraguay, Bolivia, I suppose.
Taking control.
Gain a partial control of it, I guess.
Your orders?
Yeah, continue to investigate random councillors. Actually find one for a change. So, the only one we know about is you. Let's go for whoever
Surveilling target.
I'm here.
You continue your advisory capacity missions.
I will help them.
Standing by for orders.
And what do we want to do with you? Crack down on that. So, national economy, popular support. Yeah, we need to make them significantly less popular than us. So let's start converting Colombia.
Offering support.
I need a ton of tech to start better. Yeah, I mean I've got the other. I'm gonna need a ton of tech for that as well. Let's be honest. But we might abandon our silly plan of South America in a moment. Because there's a couple of things we probably need to start thinking about a bit more seriously here. And that is definitely Kazakhstan.
Surveillance complete.
Okay, 8 loyalty counselor.
Violence is abating.
Public sentiment is increasingly with us.
Yep, it just takes a bit of getting into. China in theory should be good as well, but again, getting into China I think is more difficult than getting into America.
We are taking over.
Okay, we have 1 point in Paraguay, and that's taking us over our cap, but we'll solve that in a moment because I know one of our guys is going to have a level up. Okay. So... I mean, pop will matter eventually. So, income, and unity increase. I mean, might as well. We have some Vikings consulting us now, and additional unity points. Seems decent. Okay. Can also add a point of administration to you, so we shall do. And I think now is the time where we start looking towards... Is it fully under Kazakhstan? Is there a reason we can't do that? They're already cracked down, actually.
I'm here.
Yeah, let's go for this. Yep. 71%. We're going to go for Kazakhstan.
Targeting the opposition.
Ready to go.
Alright. What other investigations can we do? Somebody in South Korea.
Tracking
we'll go investigate that.
Ready for my mission.
Continue to advise the
Offering
Brazilian
assistance.
government.
Ready for orders.
And... I guess actually we can do public campaign in Kazakhstan as well. Hello, Patrick.
Making our case.
Ready for orders.
Oh, you have no investigation. Okay, that's why. Alright, it's fine. Let's just stabilize Brazil even further.
We'll make things safe.
Why are all my people not one person with all the stats? That seems like it would be easier in a weird sort of way. But hey, breakthrough. Scientists working at RPG in Argentina have made an unexpected breakthrough. 500 science seems good. Significant world opinion boost for that. More investment in scientific and education for that. Increases in inequality and environmental damage. So global boost for humanity first seems reasonable in truth. However, I might want the investment. Depends how big this bonus is going to be in either way direction, really. Yeah, we're gonna have to work on that. Let's go for it. Increase the science output of Argentina.
We've got some
Change
intel on our
so
target.
that's going in the right direction for us. Brazil's going up. Argentina's going down, which is
Things
fine.
are cooling off.
And I imagine Canada's fine, but let's have a quick look at it.
We hold no sway in their minds.
No, you failed. And Canada's going down as well. Okay, so it's kind of getting there. At least where we want it.
The opposition remains in power.
You rolled a 91. You're back to your failing ways again. Oh well, it's fine. Also, we're point. Okay. So we're 8% of a point ahead of where we want to be. Iceland under control of the Protectorate, and Canada have ended their alliance. Yeah, we know surprisingly little about anybody. Oh dear. Also, we need to defend interests in Canada again.
Ready.
Oh, I forgot we have the Caribbean Islands as well. Did we do anything?
What's the op?
We could probably abandon the Caribbean Islands if we needed to. Did we get our point in Cuba? I can't even remember. We got our point in Guatemala, which we're trying to abandon. Didn't get any points in Cuba. I mean, it's giving us funding, ultimately. It's not really giving us a problem as far as I can work out, so it's fine. Right. Let's keep finding more
We'll
counselors.
see what they're up to.
Where do you need me?
Keep advising
Offering
Brazil.
counsel.
At your service.
And it's already cracked down, so it doesn't actually matter, does it? No, not really. Alright, more public campaigns. We need
I will
Kazakhstan
try
on
to sway
side.
the public.
Reporting in.
Yeah, no worries. Catch you later. I'm probably not going to be streaming for too much longer. But
Restoring order.
we've made a start, and it's not the most sensible of starts, almost certainly.
help them.
There were better options available, but hey.
Securing our control.
Okay, so Canada's now secured from anybody trying to get into it. Victor Free has arrived in low Earth orbit. Oh god darn it, it crashed in India. What are the odds?
I have new information.
Okay, affiliated with the Resistance.
Order is returning.
Brazil is peaceful, so Brazil very nearly up to its optimal level, and we are getting slow increases in Kazakhstan.
With each passing day, humanity shatters the boundaries of the possible. It is our certain destiny to move mountains at the touch of a button. We need...
Indeed, we're going to ignore that. Oh, we actually have the control of the research. Okay. Right. So let's have a look at this tech tree. I haven't really gone into this because early game there's not too many options here. Let's just have a quick look at the full tree here. In fact, the game is crashing as I try to show the full tree. So this thing is a behemoth of a document. It is an absolute behemoth of things that link to other things, 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 of things that link to other things. But anyway, what we're interested in are some of the mining techs eventually. So, while there is the mission to Mars, we're kind of interested in getting other things sorted out with this. So I think we're going to aim for the mass driver technology, because I know that's one thing we need for space mining and refining. So we're going to take control of the tech tree and make sure we get that first. So, mass drivers. Also allows us to have some railgun tech. Also, just realised we're also on top of the mission to Mars thing at the moment, because I think we're the only people who haven't realised it's stupid. It is stupid, but, you know. Let's start rebalancing a little bit. Okay. Weirdly, I think this means we might be the best in tech if we're on top of all of them, because I've not really been trying to take that over. But I guess if nobody's taken over any of the major nations, and Europe still... I mean, the Academy's in Europe, but they're not really in control of it. They, obviously, with the crackdowns and things, they lost a lot of their influence there. But it's now more important that we get Kazakhstan under control. Lithium sulfur batteries. It's fine. Org has been updated with some new potential pickups. Okay, so obviously there's alien activity that we'll need to do about. In fact, it's probably worth us actually... Where did that crash in the end? It was India, wasn't it? So we're going to investigate here because there's going to be some fauna we need to deal with.
Surveilling target area.
At your service.
You are going to go back to your purging mission. And we're going to go for... Well, there's some reasonably successful things here. Yeah, Kazakhstan. And we're going to spend 8 influence to make sure we get it.
Removing our enemies.
Ready for my mission.
Oh, wow, they actually have both the points there now. Well, we're still going to go for it. Let's crack down the other point if we can. No, let's not do that. Okay. Let's keep randomly investigating additional councillors because it is worth us doing this to a certain extent.
Tracking target.
Ready to go.
You can investigate the alien activity, and Douglas can... Yes, we can't control this nation at the moment, but we can increase public opinion, help ourselves out, get this later. Yeah, we can't let the initiative have this. They'd use space for profits.
Setting a watch.
We've completed the outpost core. So now we can build some things, and I think that gets us to not quite there. Alien Origin is tempting. What are our objectives right now, actually? Research Alien Origin is on the objectives list, but it's going to take us a long while to get there, and I'm not sure it's necessarily useful to get it right now. Maybe it is. But what else are we doing? Xenology Lab's helpful, sure, but... Alright, let's go. So, November 24, so a year and a half to get this done if we keep the current tech points as they are. I think we're going to have to live with that, though.
Surveillance complete.
Initiative, okay. We do care about the initiative to a certain extent.
Public opinion is moving in our direction.
10%. Slight increase, but not a huge one. Now let's find out if this worked.
We found something.
Our people have taken
It
control.
did work! You rolled a 1 critical success. That is your second critical success. Since failing your first 7 missions, you've actually started becoming useful. Unfortunately, we are above the cap, so we're going to have to now do some things. Unrest is high in Guatemala. Yeah, I'm not sure we care about Guatemala, if I'm going to be honest. I was trying to abandon that. Going to abandon the Caribbean islands as well, because they're not doing a lot for us at the moment. And that gives us enough to currently be above our cap. Okay, let's see what we can do here. So this is one of the ones that actually adds mission types. So this is where this could start being useful for us, including some investigation score. But unfortunately, you can't pick it up. You could, and that would give you... a few things. It'd be helpful, actually, to get someone... Yeah, so the two people who could do it are the most useful, but they don't have the administration score is probably the problem. In which case, let's give it to you on the basis this would give you the highest high score for investigation, and then security score means basically harder to kill. But hey, we have additional surveils and we have additional investigations available if we choose to do it. One additional command point, we'll give that to... Yeah, give that to you. Seems reasonable, increases our points as well. And where are we for XP? Nothing new. Okay. So we have our point in Kazakhstan, and I think we are going to go for the full control of this. The reason this is so important is that it has the highest boost score of anywhere. So having direct control of this actually gives you a lot of ability to move around in space. So we're obviously not going to build nuclear weapons army. Are going to build mission control points. We're going to turn that off. Turn that off. Turn that off. In fact, we're going to turn off everything except boost. And I guess spoils. And mission control points is probably relevant as well. Okay. So, that done. We need to crack this one down. It's going to be difficult. Let's public campaign this.
Making our case.
I'm here.
We're going to assault the alien nest that we found.
Heading to the LZ.
Because, again, we don't
Standing
like that
by.
sort of thing. 1% purge chance if we were to go for it right now. So let's actually go for a public campaign.
I will try to sway the public.
Where to?
Let's then go for a crackdown attempt from you. And if we spend a 2/3 chance for 4 influence seems reasonable. We'll
Targeting
take that.
the key people.
Alright, finally you. Let's go and have you advise Brazil.
Lending my expertise.
Keep our science points up. Confirm.
Offering support.
We've moved the needle.
We have indeed, but only by 2 points. Okay, that's useful. So we do extra damage to xenoforming and penalties to xenoforming some of our
The
territories.
control is vulnerable now.
Excellent. Good roll.
Public sentiment is increasingly with us.
And it is. Okay, so slowly we're getting this sorted.
Unable to destroy target.
Oof. Well, that might be bad. I mean, it summoned a kaiju instantly last time, so we'll find out whether it's still bad for us. Okay. There are new corporations, but also we need to protect some places. So let's start with seeing what organizations we can buy. We've got quite a lot of influence and money these days. It's just a case of whether we can actually get them or not. Nothing as of yet. Okay.
Ready to
So
go.
first job, we need to purge. It's worth us spending the investment here. So we're going to go for 16 to get this
Terminating
purge
the opposition.
sorted.
Acknowledged.
Next up, your job is going to be continue to run some investigations on some people.
Investigating target.
Standing by for orders.
You are going to continue to advise Brazil.
Offering assistance.
Ready.
We are going to continue to do public opinion here. And we could inspire, actually. Yeah, let's inspire here because we want to try and increase their loyalty a little bit.
Standing by.
And then you are going to
Eyes up.
surveil. Well, we'll finish off the thing once we've actually got this sorted. I think controlling Kazakhstan is going to be important for us at this point, even more than necessarily protecting Brazil. At least for the immediate plans.
Offering counsel.
I believe they'll stay loyal to the cause.
Difficult to discern just how much the Council's loyalty has changed. But hey, it's no longer
On
loyalty
Overwatch.
1, in theory.
Person of interest surveilled.
Critical success. We found a servant. Excellent. Okay. We might be trying some things with that. Meanwhile, France, under the control of the Academy, has declared war on Ethiopia. Okay. Alien reductions reported. Okay, well, we did a good thing to investigate this. Hello.
Our associates are now in charge.
Okay, we did take control of Kazakhstan. That is excellent.
We'll be ready for new orders soon.
But now we have other things to concern ourselves with. Okay, we're going to keep going with this. I might actually put a bare minimum into welfare here, just to try and counterbalance it a little bit. But ultimately our plan here is to just keep this as a boost generating machine. So this is all the space tech, so we do need this. But yeah, that's not a great continuation for us here. So I need some investigative people to work out what's going on with this. Okay, confirm assignments. So we've now got enough boost to actually launch a satellite and do some potential stuff there. There are some advantages to this, but I think the main thing we need to do right now is defend Kazakhstan because
Securing our interests.
it's gonna be
Reporting
helpful
in.
for us. Right. Sabotage projects. It's only a 30% chance, and our op score's not amazing. Let's just keep the investigations going. We need to find more people.
Initiating surveillance.
Where to?
Okay, who have we got left?
At your service.
So you're going to investigate the activity in Canada.
On the way to the target site.
At your service.
You can continue to advise Brazil.
I will help them.
I'm here.
And yeah, we don't have a lot of great options here, do we? Let's increase
We'll make our appeal.
Kazakhstan, because ultimately it's worth it for us to keep this on side as long as possible. Confirm.
Offering support.
Protecting our interests.
Sudden flowering. Oh boy. Explosion and growth of alien life forms. Environmental agencies are concerned the growth could spiral out of control not just immediately. I don't have enough thing to start doing that. Oh, there's nothing we can do about it now. Full access to the site. Yeah, we need the science.
I have new information.
Oh, okay, that's why. So Guatemala has actually decided to not be abandoned anymore, so we're going to re-abandon it. There we go.
We're winning their hearts and minds.
Turkey has joined the France-Ethiopia war against Ethiopia. Good.
We found something.
Okay, we completed the investigate alien abduction objectives. We are at war. This case confirmed that multiple experiences have taken place, both humans and animals. Included people well outside the profile of typical missing persons reports. With no leads as to where the abductees may have been taken or how to stop these attacks from continuing. All we can do is continue to investigate. Okay. Research alien methods. New objective. Okay, we have alien objectives. So the methods is a quicker research, so we're going to switch this over for the moment. And we're going to focus a bit more on it. So actually, it only costs us, it only saves us a fortnight. It saves us a fortnight. We might as well stick with what we're doing here. We can take this off of mass drivers, actually. That might matter a little bit. Not that much. We've researched all of this, pretty much. So, yeah, okay. I guess we can... Except we're probably going to want to do some stuff with that anyway. Oh, it's fine. Carry on. Okay. New organizations are available. Turkey under control of the servants and Canada have ended their alliance. Yep. Oh, really? I keep forgetting, but they have this darn point in North Korea, don't they? And they have control of it now. It would cost us, but I think we need to think about that.
Your orders?
All right. Let's surveil this point in
Initiating
Canada because we
surveillance.
need to make
Ready
sure
for
of
my
things. We're not going to purge it as is, so let's go for a public campaign. Now let's see if we can get... It's a low percentage chance, but I might as well take
We'll
it.
make our appeal.
At your service.
It's potentially helpful. Investigate counselor. Let's get ourselves another one.
Surveilling target.
I'm here.
Continue to advise Brazil.
Lending my expertise.
Ready for my mission.
Oh, I've just realised I need to...
Ready for orders.
Defend interest in Brazil.
Making things safe for our people.
So it's just Brazil. Brazil. Argentina's also expired. Okay. So that's your job for a little bit. Better than just trying our random attempts at that. But we do need to think about getting into North Korea if we needed to. And it's the humanity verse should in theory be starting to get there, but we'll see. What are our percentage chance here? Because you have no investigation score, that's not going to work. But this should work. So let's start campaigning and see if we can take a nuke away from the servants. And really hope that we can. Confirm.
I will help them.
Alright,
Sisters and brothers,
Photonic
I remind
computing.
you, the Lord said, "Shall the axe boast over him who hews with it? Or the saw magnify itself against him who..."
So, what do we actually want here? So, deep space propulsion concepts is going to be reasonably useful for us. I need to actually check the tree a little bit here. So we'll work on mass drivers to get ourselves towards the space mining. Propulsion could be useful for just finding out some other bits and pieces here. Actually, cybernetics, if I remember right, it could be a thing we want. Apply artificial intelligence, inertial things. So we need biotechnology and we need augmented reality. I think we're going to go for the augmentations. So let's start with biotech. And because this doesn't save it by an awful lot, we're going to put an extra point into this. So August next year we will have biotechnology to do something
Surveilling
with.
target area.
Securing our interests.
Good.
Surveillance complete.
Mech soldiers? More sort of cybernetic counselors is kind of the thought process there. Because while you can use organizations to improve your soldier stats, you can also just, you know, give them robotic parts to make them better at what they're doing.
Is unjustified to them.
Oh, okay. Weren't able to improve in North Korea. It'll be fine, although they probably noticed him. Bio-Steves? Look, we haven't got any representation for the Cult of Steve just yet. There is AI, but I don't know quite how that works or how that's implemented. So, for the moment, we're going for Steve cyborgs, as opposed to, you know, fully automated Steves. But anyway, I'm going to end things... We'll see what we can actually do with upgrades first, actually. We can have an additional point here, so let's customize... Actually, remind me for next episode, I want to customize everybody here. We'll see if we can actually get some chat members into this council, so I can actually blame you for when things go wrong. I think I know who Aegon's going to be already. Government. So, giving him governmental stats grants him access to government organizations, and actually that could be useful. Let's do that. I don't think he can get anything right now, and his administration is really low, but that potentially is going to help us. Meanwhile, our hacker can remove the enemy of the state, but that's only for India. And we might not care about India all that much. Absolutely. Not a problem. Let's go and increase your administration here. We're going to try and just slowly rack things up here. So I don't have the ability to add anything. All these are quite high influence costs or things that must be in specific areas, which we don't have at the moment. So, alien methods in a couple of months. We have biotech coming on in a year's time. We have our mission to Mars, which I've kind of backed, although I don't think it's necessarily useful for us at the moment. We haven't even got the ability to mine yet, but I suppose we could make a claim on Mars really early, spend a bunch of our boost, which we don't have a lot of, to build Martian bases early. But yeah, it's really awkward. Kazakhstan is the best producer of this, but we're hoping that eventually...
Reporting in.
Eventually, when we go to Brazil here, their spaceflight program is not a million miles away. So we might, and also it's on the equator, which means that, you know, they get a further boost to their boost stat. Potentially, we can just turn Brazil into our space empire, basically. But again, stuff and things to work out. If the aliens are there, it'd be a plan to get gribbled. We like our plans to get gribbled, though. But anyway, I'm going to call that a stream. Thanks for joining me. I will definitely be doing some more of this, probably next week on the Monday, but we'll see how it goes. Any time I make a schedule, I immediately stop adhering to that schedule. So I won't commit. We'll just say that's the plan. Catch you later.